over to my brother here. Who are you? Tell these people.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Good evening, everybody. My name is Assemblymember Jordan J.G. Wright, and I am proud to be here today as a member of the Black Legislative Task Force, as a freshman elected official. Just wrapped up my first session, had some really good things done. I'm happy. One thing I'm proud of is I'm happy to say that I got some more funding for this building we're in right now, the Schomburg Center. So,
Tell them how much. Tell them how much. Flex on them.
$500,000 for the Schomburg Center. So. Happy to always be a part of that. You know, I'm not really new to this, but I've been here for a while. So I want to say thank you all for having me today. I want to say thank you all for being here and listening. We're gonna have a very active conversation. So let's get to going. Let's get to going. Let's get to going. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
See?
Come on now, Senator.
Come on, Senator.
Right, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone.
Nope, I don't think it is. Sorry.
Hello.
Okay.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Hey, Assembly member, so good to be here. Happy to see all of you. Thankful to be a part of the Black Legislative Task Force and really grateful for the leadership of Assemblymember Jackson and Assemblymember Anderson and their work on that task force, keeping us together where we were all able to support this very important funding for our underserved organizations. We're blessed tonight to be in the Schomburg, which I feel is the epicenter of Black history and culture here in Harlem. And I must take the opportunity, just if I could, highlight a few of our bills that I have. That one bill that I have in the state legislature that I want everybody to know about is the renaming, and Jordan Wright, Assembly member, is the co-sponsor on that bill, where we put in legislation to rename the 110th Street number 2-3 line on Malcolm X Boulevard. This Sunday, the governor will be coming down to sign our bill to rename that station Malcolm X Plaza.
Say that one more time, Senator. 110th Street, my station, is going to be named after Malcolm X, Malcolm X Plaza.
The gateway to Harlem.
Say it.
So we are very proud of that, and that's something that's been a long time coming. We also have a bill that we're waiting for the governor to sign, which establishes and empowers the Council on the Arts to designate the Harlem Renaissance Cultural District. And that's a bill that I worked on with the Schomburg and other stakeholders in Harlem. It was passed in both houses, and we're just waiting for the governor to sign that. We'll see when that happens. But I want to wait. I want to hear from all of you, because this is so important, this funding that has come up and the work that you all do, and we want to see how we can get it to you and what the challenges might be.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robert Jackson, State Senator representing the 31st Senatorial District, which is Washington Heights, Inwood, Marble Hill, and 1/3 of my district is in the Northwest Bronx, majority Spanish-speaking, but ¿habla español? Sí. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien.
Muy bien?
Bien.
Good. Mucho trabajo, huh? ¿Qué pasa? So, I am one of the members of the New York State Legislative Black Task Force, but the most important thing you need to know is, what committees do you serve on, Senator Jackson? Civil Service and Pensions Committee. I chair the Civil Service and Pensions Committee in the New York State Senate. I'm a member of the Housing and Buildings Committee. I'm a member of the Education Committee. There's 3 education committees. One, New York City Education, where John Liu is the chair. Statewide Education, which is Shelley Kramer, or Shelley what? Mayer. Shelley Mayer is the chair, and Higher Education, Toby Savitsky. But besides that, obviously I'm on the Labor Committee. I've served 23 years for a labor union prior to becoming a state senator, and recently I was placed on the Health Committee, which health is a human right for everyone here. So those are the committees that I'm on, and I look forward to working with all of you and listening to the ideas about how we can spend $30 million in the budgetary process on issues and concerns of the Black Legislative Task Force. Madam Chair, thank you.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, I know I walked in slightly late, but I just want to lift up the name of Lloyd Williams.
Oh, yes.
That we just.
We did a moment of silence, but yes.
Yeah.
Lloyd, we pray, is holding us down and making sure that we do what is right in this space because he loved Harlem. And I hope everyone sitting in here does as well. So we are here. This is our listening tour. I think it's my job to also bring up our fiscal conduits. And I know we have Therese here from United Way of New York State, so she'll join us. Come on, Therese, Daly. Yeah, we can clap. She's gonna handle the money. You can clap a little harder, it's okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the electeds, and thank you, Representative Taylor, for the beautiful prayer and for honoring Mr. Williams. And thank you, Assemblymember Jackson, for having us here. My name is Therese Daly, and I'm the president and CEO of United Way of New York State and 211 New York. And it is my privilege to be here on the stage tonight. And thank you so much for having me.
I know, we're figuring it out, guys. And then I would love to have Joy Bivens come to the stage. And if you don't know that name, you will get to know it soon because she's the reason why we're in this space right now. And I want to say thank you to her. Is she here? Oh, here we go. Look at you. You just appear out of nowhere.
Just from behind the curtain there. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Joy Bivens. I have the distinct privilege of serving as the director of this historic institution, the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. And it is my pleasure to welcome you here this evening. It's my pleasure to welcome you all here this evening, our elected officials, to share with us how we can spend this money, right? And so I hope that you feel comfortable and that you will relax while you are at the Schomburg Center. This is your house as much as it is my house. If you don't know, we are celebrating 100 years this year, so let's give it up for that. And of course, that's not possible without the support of community. That's not possible without the support of the elected officials who are here to make the Schomburg great and give it the platform to serve the community. So we will be celebrating all year. I invite you to all of our programs. I invite you to visit our exhibition, 100, A Century of Collections, Community, and Creativity, which is right upstairs. And I just want you to make sure that you feel comfortable here tonight as we engage in conversation. And again, I just want you to give it up for our elected officials for being here this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing.
Thank you. All right, thanks. So get to it now. Okay, good to see you all.
Yeah, we're all trying to be mindful because we know this is a listening tour, so we actually want to listen. We do want to do the introductions, make sure everyone knows who's in the building and who to talk to when there's a concern or a comment or suggestion. I have to also acknowledge that our Pastor Mike Warren is in the building as well. Pastor at FCBC, a staple in Harlem, doing amazing work. As a social worker, I say thank you for the work that you're doing on mental health and for feeding our kids and for everything else that you're doing. One more introduction.
State Committee Member Londell Davis of the 70th Assembly District, right there, I see it, okay.
All right, and then our fiscal conduit, another one is Elm Corps, and Saida Dunstan is also here with us. She's going to join us at some point on Saida. What did I do? Oh, okay. You got the look on your face like I did something. You know, she a mama, but she mamaed me like, okay. But Saida is also here. She'll join us on stage because Senator Jackson can't stay with us the whole time, but we'll switch out. And it'll be seamless. You won't even notice. Jordan is scared that he didn't acknowledge that he's the treasurer for the Black Task Force. He handles the money, everybody, just in case he didn't say it.
Not your money, so don't come.
Okay. So if you never heard of a fiscal conduit, basically what happens is we at the Black Task Force, we advocated. Some of you guys came up to Albany for our advocacy day, helped, ran by Saida in the executive director of the task force, Dorcia Williams, who does all of this work, isn't paid enough to do it, so. But we say thank you because God put it on her heart to do this work. But you guys came up for our advocacy day. We all collectively asked for $50 million, and we were able to get $30 million. So we say thank you. You know, it's our first time doing it, so we say thank you to that. I just want you also to be aware that the Puerto Rican Hispanic Task Force was able to allocate $30 million, and the Asian AAPI Task Force is also able to advocate for and allocate $30 million. So there's $90 million out there willing to help, what's the term? Underserved communities, all right? We gotta be very mindful of what we say up here nowadays. So that is the purpose of the money, to help with underserved communities. And so the state put in the budget. We say thank you again to our Speaker and the Majority Leader and the Governor. And what happens is the money's gonna go to the Department of State. This is gonna be a long process, so it's nothing happening overnight. It's not even happening this year. But we're having a conversation so you're fully aware of what the process is. The money will go to the Department of State. They will then be working with our fiscal conduits, and I will tell you who they are. Is Elm Corps, is United Way of New York State, LISC, LISC, our very own Harlemite Arva Rice at New York Urban League. Who I'm forgetting? FPWA with Jennifer Jones Austin. So those are our fiscal conduits. They are going to handle that $30 million and making sure that it gets out to the state of New York nonprofits. This is a reimbursement process. Everything is reimbursed. That is the process in which it is designed, but there has been conversation around the fiscal conduits receiving the first 25% up front to help us kick it off, and then everything being reimbursed and continuously getting funding as monies is coming in. The fiscal conduits will be responsible for monitoring the paperwork, making sure that everything is in place, creating an application to even begin with. They're responsible for all of that. When that is available, because you're in this room, we have your contact information, and we're gonna make sure that we let you know the application is open. You can apply. This money is for the state of New York, not for the state of Harlem, okay? So $30 million is being stretched. Right. Senator Claire about to leave, like, wait, hold on now. So while it may sound like a lot for one program, it's hard when you're talking about the state of New York and the amount of people we're trying to impact. But I just want to give you the parameters so you don't beat me up later on. Okay, but there's $90 million in the pot. He did say it, I didn't say it. All right, so the fiscal conduits will be responsible for getting all that paperwork from you all, creating that application, being in contact. I want you all, because I know you all have a cell phone that Rev Al told you to put on silent. I want you to, if you have Instagram, this is for the young folks. If you have Instagram, make sure you follow the, Black Task Force social media, which is NYSBLT. Oh. NYS Task Force. NYSBL Task Force. Is it up there? It ain't even up there. Oh, y'all not helping me out. All right. NYSBL Task Force. Oh, but it is on the card the palm card that you received. So follow us on our social media, and make sure that you can stay updated on what's happening. We're also on Twitter. And because you gave us your contact information, we'll be sending you emails through our email blast. He walked in late, but he's still here with us. It is Assemblymember Landon Days. Hi, Landon. He is happy to be here. Look at him. He's so excited. So excited. He loves this $30 million. Okay, so follow us. We'll keep keep you guys abreast of what's happening. And then funding disclaimer, I gotta say this part. Participation in the listening session does not guarantee funding. Just because you're sitting here doesn't mean you are eligible for it or you're gonna get it, okay? We gotta go through the processes. And so we're going to listen to your feedback. We're going to answer as many questions as we possibly can. And we want to stay on topic. We are talking about $30 million that the Black Task Force allocated to groups to help with underserved communities. And while there are a million things we could be talking about, we're going to stay on topic on that. So if you have ways in which we should be giving this funding out and you want to offer those suggestions, please do so. If you have questions about it, please ask, okay? The timekeeper, how much time do we have per person? 3 minutes. That's question and answer? 3 minutes for question and feedback, 2 minutes for us. Okay, got it. So it's like 5 altogether. So, and there's a lot of people in here. There's a lot of questions. If you do not get to ask your question, it is not too late. Feel free to reach out to Dorcia. That is why we pay her. Ask her all the questions via email. You can call her. You can contact her. She enjoys talking to people. All right?
Additionally, my office, you guys know where my office is, Suite 911, State Office Building, Senator Clear's office as well, right next door to mine. Any questions you all may have, feel free to come see us. Door is always open. Thank you.
All right. So, okay. Hold on.
Now, my office is
I just
not
went with the
necessarily there. I just want you to know that we're at 2541-55 7th Avenue, 148th Street, Adam Clayton Powell, and we do, according to appointments, take meetings in our state office building on the 9th floor. Down the hall, I got the cheap seats.
Oh. All right. And so we're going to start our feedback time or questions that you guys may have. The mics are in the back, but we're bringing them down front. We're asking people to line up at either side of the mics. And if there are people who have a hard time standing, just alert Dorcia, and she will make sure that we accommodate your needs, okay? We kind of want it in the aisle, but it's gone. Nah, you first? Okay, so just give us your name and where you're from, and then ask the question. Okay, give it to me. You want a question first? Sorry, Nah, he jumped you. Oh, Lanton, he's playing. Stop playing. Come on, Nah. Yeah, grab the mic. We got it. They want to hear you in the back.
Hey everybody, my name is Nye Whitaker. I'm a proud resident of East Harlem. But I do have a question. I work with a lot of nonprofits who are really in a dire strait when it comes to the reimbursement process. They have so much money that they have to allocate for upfronts, and the process of which them getting the payments sometimes is a make or break, particularly with our much smaller grassroots organizations. So I was hoping that you could speak to, coming out of the pandemic, coming out of the fact of what's going on in DC, our nonprofits are stretched thin, and they're doing the great work of filling the gaps in our communities. So what can you tell us about what the reimbursement process will be? So what will be the deposit amounts? You know, how large can they go, if you know that information? And what will be the time frame once they upfront for them to get their payments? Because nonprofits are closing left and right, and we need all of them in order to succeed.
Thank you so.
Oh, no, just here to help moderate.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for your question, and thank you for all you do for the community and your hard work. Secondly, we are also, the fiscal conduits are also nonprofits, so we completely understand. I am currently waiting on funding reimbursements myself, so we completely understand. I do want to be upfront with you. We are still working out the operations and the processes, but one thing that we're very aware of, having been nonprofits, is that reimbursement process. And there are many different possibilities that we're going to work through to try to make it an easier process. One of the things that we're doing, one of the things that, hello. Okay. Do you need me to restart? Oh, we're good. Okay. So one of the things that we want to do is in the application process, make it as complete as possible. So when you hand in information and you submit documents, it will make that reimbursement process that much easier. So that's one thing. Secondly, if it's a small amount of money, we're actually hoping to be able to reimburse rather quickly smaller dollar amounts, even if that means that for us as an example, we would just front the money and then wait for the reimbursement. But unfortunately, we can't make that commitment right now. But I just want you to know that this is 100% first thing on our mind, because that is the number one thing. We're now on the 3rd listening session that we have heard from you. That is the number one thing. It's the reimbursement time. So know that we're working on that, and we're gonna be also open to feedback on that process as it's ongoing.
I think if there's a possibility to increase the bridge loans also to the consultants
Yeah.
that are supporting the nonprofits. I know personally last year I was out $30,000 because a nonprofit took 6 months to get reimbursement. And luckily I wrote it off and donated it back to the organization, but not every small business owner is in that position. So not only thinking about the nonprofits, but the consultants who support the nonprofits and making sure that there are bridge loans and other opportunities available to them as well. Thank you.
Thank
Well
you so
done.
much.
Oh, do we have any questions?
Yes.
You guys can step up
Please
to the
feel
mic.
free to
Yeah,
come to
step
the
up to the
mics.
mic.
Hello, good evening, everyone. All right, so my name is Kathy Edouard Bell, and I am the Director of Community Relations and Program Design at New York Cares. Our organization mobilizes over 34,000 volunteers to support over 450 nonprofits, schools across all 5 boroughs. We're actually gonna have an event next week packing 14,000 backpacks in Harlem. And so, of course, a part of our work is supporting civic engagement through mobilizing volunteers and addressing some critical needs, including food insecurity, tax preparation, coat drive, coat distribution, and more. What we've been hearing from our nonprofit partners across the city is that they're facing unprecedented financial uncertainty, and including staff layoffs, of course, due to federal funding cuts. And as a result, of course, we've seen a sharp increase in requests in many of these areas that I mentioned. Again, packing meals, educating our children, after-school programming. And so, of course, we understand that now more than ever, civic engagement is really important and vital to strengthening our communities. And so we recommend that the task force, of course, or we commend, not recommends, the task force for considering civic engagement, which we learned in a lot of the talks and tours that you've done so far. And so can you speak a little bit more on what that vision is for the civic engagement portion?
Yeah, so I just want to offer two things pretty quickly. Number one, that the funding, I'm not going to get too political on the Schaumburg stage, I promise, but the funding isn't to mitigate any federal cuts, nor is the funding to be intended for any capital use. So there's just two very important things that we have to consider, because when we do this, we want to do it right. So thank you.
And then just the areas that we're looking for this funding to serve is in health, education, housing, civic engagement, cultural preservation, workforce development, economic development, criminal justice reform, and nonprofit capacity building. So we're looking for the funding to be in any of those buckets. If you're asking for an actual rollout, this is why we're here in the listening tour. So if you have suggestions on things that we should be doing, we're gonna take note of that. But we don't have we're gonna do this, and this. That's why we're listening to you all. And we're going across the state. This is stop number 3, and I'm headed to Rochester, Binghamton, Syracuse, Albany, Queens, Staten Island, and the Bronx, where I represent.
And Buffalo.
Okay.
And Buffalo.
And which one?
Buffalo.
Buffalo?
Yes.
Oh, in Buffalo. My apologies. So yeah. So we're listening. So if you have a suggestion, we're more than willing to take it.
Great, yes.
And we'll have the next person here.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. My name is Nicole Mussenden, President and CEO of PowerPlay NYC. I want to thank Assembly Member and all the elected officials here for this is outstanding. I can't tell you how much we appreciate this, and we appreciate your efforts. My question is regarding 0% interest loans against any of these awards. Right now, the city affords us, I get New York City Council funding, and with that, I get a 0% interest loan to tide me over, which is a cap of about 75% of that. From the city. It's called an RGF loan. Will that same thing happen from a New York State perspective?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think we're even there yet to know if that's going to be a possibility. But we're taking note of that. It's a really important question. We're not at that place to know the answer to that. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
But we may note.
No, I was gonna say, but we're definitely gonna ask.
Yeah, it's called the RGF loan from the city. I think it's Returnable Grant Fund, and a 0% interest loan for nonprofits, at least, against Taida?
Just say it one more time so everyone in the back can hear you.
Currently, New York State doesn't have those loans. I think as fiscal conduits, I know Arva Rice is not here from New York Urban League, and myself are having conversations about the fiscal conduits getting loans. So if the fiscal conduits could get loans, it might help be able to do more advances, but the state itself does not have a loan structure like the city. So that's been my experience. We're heavily state funded. I don't know of any state funding loan process.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yes, they want you to hold the mic just in case.
see?
All right.
Trying to say, yeah.
Hello, and thank you all for doing this. Thank you, Chair Jackson, for being a supporter of our work, and other members for doing this really, really important listening tour. My name is Wesner Pierre, and I'm the CEO of Partnership with Children. The work that we do is in youth mental health. We support 47 schools across the 5 boroughs of the city, serving over 22,000 youth and families. And I think mine is more of a comment. And so the work that we do is in youth mental health, which in my humble opinion, is the defining issue of our generation. What we do or don't do today will impact our tomorrow and the young leaders of tomorrow, specifically our young Black leaders of tomorrow. And so we're facing a crisis of mental health where we are seeing rising rates of anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, addiction, loneliness, and isolation across all of our schools. And we're really just wanting to make a recommendation that this group consider meeting the moment. Did you know that suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death for Black youth, behind accidents like traffic and drowning and homicides? The 3rd leading cause, suicide. Did you know that under the heading of anxiety, depression, and psychological distress, that Black Americans are 30% more likely than white Americans to report serious psychological distress, yet are far less likely to access treatment? There is a need, and the need is only rising. And the work that we do is focused on supporting that need. And I just want to make sure that this body is intent on ensuring that we support our future of young Black leaders. And so I just more of a comment and an urging. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for the work that you do. There's going to be pass it to the treasurer first, and then we'll come to
Real quick, I just want to give a big shout out to the female state committee member for this area, Aaliyah Horsford Sidbury. Please stand up and give her a round of applause for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank
Londell, I just didn't see you. You know I still love you.
Do you want to mention that? No, the 250,000. Okay. You want to do the community voice? That's fine.
No, it's not, no, either one. Listen, I can do them all, but this is good feedback. I'm really glad that people are raising important issues and things to be considered just because the state doesn't do it. I know the task force is going to be creative in their thinking and how we can make some of these things happen and how creative it can be. And I'm just here to tell everybody this is something that we all have, that the task force does aim to have. Each of our fiscal conduits set aside $250,000 in non-reimbursable funding for organizations that are unable to cover costs up front. Now, please note, this is not guaranteed. And as the chair said earlier, you know, we are building the plane while flying it. This is historic, never been done before. We can't say it's for underserved communities, that's what it's for. But we know the organizations that have been historically left out of funding, the issues that have been historically overlooked. So that's what this is intended for. This is a first. I really appreciate that we're doing it with you and that you're doing it with us. So this is a great way to do it. And do you want me to go on?
No, that's
with
fine. That was good. All right. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Clay Roy. I'm the CEO of Generation Citizen, and we partner with schools across the state and several here in Harlem to engage young people in real-world civic engagement opportunities so they become problem solvers and civic visionaries while they're in middle and high school. And so I want to add on to what others have said as an urging that civic engagement is an essential part of the work that you all are looking at. You all are such leaders and you inspire civic engagement for young people who get a chance to connect with you. But so many young people across the state, across our neighborhoods, don't necessarily feel that sense of trust or connection or belonging in communities. And so I wanted to, in addition to recommending that some of the funding be dedicated specifically for civic engagement organizations and efforts that encourage young people, and not only young people who are already 18 and can vote, but our middle and high schoolers as well, but also encourage you to think about how can civic engagement be a part of an expectation for some of the other kind of work that is funded, right? Civic engagement is also a part of good economic development. It ensures that just like you are leading the way, that there's listening happening in communities when there's affordable housing being developed, when there are new opportunities for entrepreneurship. Civic engagement can be a part of healthy solutions in healthcare, because we see some of the young people involved in Generation Citizen programming who themselves are saying, we know the ways in which we can support young people around reducing substance abuse. We know the ways we can help our peers tackle health issues that are facing the community. And so looking at ways to integrate, not only to support civic engagement, but actually to integrate it, so that one of the things that you consider as a part of whether or not organizations would receive funding is how are they engaging young people in their communities in solving problems. So kudos to you. I think this is the right way to start the kind of process that is committed to civic engagement, and so I would encourage you to weave that all the way through the funding.
Thank you.
It's like all the education and civic engagement nonprofits are here tonight. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Gio Barcenas. I am Chief of Staff for an education nonprofit called City Year. You might have seen the young people wearing red jackets in your district senator or your district assembly member. I'm here to uplift their voices, the voices of these young people who are doing work in schools, and also the students that we're serving in elementary schools and middle schools. At City Year, we recruit 17 to 25-year-olds to be classroom student success coaches. These student success coaches, like I said, you might recognize them in red jackets, and they work very closely with teachers and their school community. They're in the schools every day from the beginning of the day, waving to the kids as they walk in, to the end of the day when the last child gets picked up. Our student success coaches not only provide academic and social emotional learning support, which is very much needed today, but they work with families to reduce chronic absenteeism and run after-school programs as well. They also bring civic engagement to the classrooms, and which is why we're also very grateful for the task force seeing that as a need. They help build stronger school communities and encourage students to participate in shaping their decisions that affect their lives. Many of our student success coaches are young people serving in the very schools that they grew up in. So they come back to wear the red jackets and serve those students, and that's part of civic engagement. Civic engagement is about voting and advocacy, and I would know because I'm one of the New York City commissioners for the Civic Engagement Commission with my fellow commissioner over there. But it's also about bringing young people for collective power in their schools and uplifting their voices. I also just want to uplift that student success coaches are organizing community cleanups, painting murals at their schools, helping with these events that bring together students, families, and neighbors in neighborhoods like East Harlem, and just over here on 149th and Amsterdam, we partner with the school there too. So when young people understand how to participate in civic life, they're more likely to see themselves as leaders and change makers. Tonight, I thank you all for this opportunity to come together and discuss how these $30 million are going to be spent or used to uplift our communities, not just as a concept, but as an actual, tangible opportunity for young people. So thank you so much. Let's continue to build a city where young people can show up into their classrooms and feel uplifted and empowered. And yeah, thank you for your time, for your partnership, and looking forward to working with all of you, and looking forward to working with anyone who wants to work together with City Year. We're here to build community partnerships. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
We'll go left, right.
Good evening. First and foremost, I want to thank you all for doing the hard work that you do and advocating specifically for Harlem. I am a born and raised Harlemite, and I've had the pleasure now to join Iris House. My name is Toya Summers, and I'm the Director of Development, and I can personally say that I've seen all of your names come across my desk of eager supporters of Iris House, so we thank you. I just wanted to share some information about what is happening. Iris House has been committed to a community-based organization serving women, families, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Focuses on health disparities from HIV, including diabetes, housing insecurity, and food insecurity. We have been servicing Harlem for over 33 years, and currently I wanted to share some statistics about a population as often I speak about. So currently, we have over 48,300 people that are living with HIV that are age 50 plus. And this is also a demographic that we also need to make sure that is seen and heard, and we have support. Iris House has also been able to be a great community resource by opening up our food pantry, our fresh market, which we service we've actually been able to serve over 48,000 meals last year alone. And also we have been able to, through our housing and food insecurity, we have been able to provide supportive housing for 176 clients. In addition to provide free testing, HIV testing, so we did over 1,000 HIV tests, over 500 Hep C screenings, as well as almost 1,000 STI tests, free of charge into the community. Additionally, we know that the funding that you secure will not be able to solve all problems, but we are so appreciative of the fact that you've been able to do it for us. And not only do we want to advocate for ourselves, but we also want to advocate for other smaller organizations that also can use technical assistance. So at this time, I thank you humbly, and I would love to have your continued support at Iris House.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't eat up your time. Come on.
Good evening, y'all. My name is Antoinette Gregg. I am the Senior Director of Development at Perscolas. We have been around for 30 years. We are the leading workforce development organization helping diverse and highly qualified talent go into tech careers. We have trained more than 15,000 learners in New York and 30,000 across the nation, and 90% of them are people of color. And so we commend the task force for elevating workforce development as part of their efforts. Black New Yorkers right now are overrepresented in low-wage jobs, continue to face systemic barriers to career advancement, and right now the Black unemployment rate in New York City is 7.7%, which is way lower than what white folks are at, which is 2.8%. So training in the tech industry presents a unique opportunity to get Black and brown folks into higher paying and faster growing careers. And so we recognize these discrepancies, and we know that the tech workforce is a solution to supporting the Black community, especially folks across Harlem and across New York City. Perscolas, again, enrolled over 1,200 Black learners just in the last 3 years. And it's one thing to provide the training, but it's another thing to make sure that we are getting people into jobs. And on average, Perscolas gets 80% of our learners straight into jobs 12 months after they graduate. So as the task force continues to shape your strategy, we just urge you to continue to up workforce development, but especially the tech workforce. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Good evening, everyone. My name is Marcus Wilson. I'm actually from the D. Lee 23 Foundation, founded in honor of Darius Lee, killed at Harlem River Park actually 3 years ago, almost to the day, actually. Tomorrow will actually be Darius Lee Day in New York City. So there is a proclamation by the mayor, and it is Darius's birthday as well as his mom's birthday. So I just wanted to mention, and I think the importance of it is the nonprofit capacity building. One of the reasons why the foundation was founded and how the foundation was founded was literally a month after Darius was killed at Harlem River Park. His mom said, "Marcus, we're gonna start a foundation." And it was, and as State Senator Claire always says, turning pain into purpose. And that we literally turned around and said, what can we do to give back to this community? Darius would have loved being here and would have loved seeing youth thrive in Harlem. He loved Harlem, played basketball throughout Harlem, went to Millbank. So our work continues, so we just want to make sure that those smaller organizations such as the D. Lee 23 Foundation gets recognition from you guys as well when we do the funding. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you want to give her a call tomorrow, text her, happy birthday,
Thank you for that. And just a reminder of what Senator Claire shared with us, the $250,000 that we're hoping to set aside for our smaller nonprofits, and that will be grant-based. So it's not necessarily reimbursement, but it's grant-based that you apply for. And we're looking to do it in like 50,000 or less. So like maybe there'd be a $5,000, a $10,000, a $50,000, you know? So that will exist, we're hoping. And remember, nothing is done until it's done. So that's why we're listening.
Good evening. My name is Matt Pfeiffer. I'm the Executive Vice President of Education and Employment with Henry Street Settlement. First and foremost, I just want to take the time to thank you all, the Black Task Force, for your efforts and securing this, and also just applaud you, and also just having this general approach, this collective impact. It takes a village. The ethos of our organization is to listen, reflect, and act, and so I really appreciate this approach. So Henry Street, if you don't know, we're based in Lower Manhattan. We're one of the sort of venerable settlement houses going back 132 years, serve about 50,000 New Yorkers every year. Deep-seated in public housing. A lot of the different issues that we're facing, you've heard already. So mental health, access to supports, education, employment, and housing instability. Right now, we're wrestling with a lot of those challenges, and I think we intentionally, our model is structured towards comprehensive case management and holistic services. And so we're a multi-service organization, and I think just for us, first of all, just a commentary on thank you for the support, but also we're curious how you're thinking about multi-services organizations that provide kind of a complex web of different services, and what the vision of the task force is as you think about these resources and how they might be dispersed, what that might look like across the state in terms of organizations of that capacity.
Yeah, that's a critical question. As a multi-service organization myself, when you see the buckets, you're like, so do I have to choose a bucket, right? All of those things. So the assembly member said, it's not done till it's done. As it stands right now, the listening session is to hear. I have to say kudos to Harlem for the great stuff that's being said right now, because a big part of this listening session is being able to know who's doing the work, and so you're doing a really good job of letting us know who's doing the work, so thank you for that. But as far as like, how many applications can I apply for? Can I apply for this category, this category? Which fiscal conduit can I apply for? Can I apply? We haven't gotten there because we don't even have a contract from the Department of State. And so until we know the criteria of the actual funding agency, there's a lot of things that we won't be able to put in place. But I think listening to these things now and hearing that there are multi-service organizations that are concerned about those types of things is important for us to know while we're trying to build this. No worries.
Thank you all so very much. I just want to interject. It's important, if you have not signed in and registered before you took your seat, please do that. And you may even have a question or comment that you may not get to ask. Sign that so we can stay in communication with you. Great stuff is coming out of the room. We don't want to leave one rock unturned. This is the foundation. You're laying it right here. Thank you all so very much.
And there's a QR code right here. I hope it works. Does it work? From back there, all right. Darcy said it works, so you can use that as well to give us our feedback.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Stephanie Guerrero. Thank you all for being here. Now, I've worked with every single last one of you. I'll be working with you because I'm claiming that. And so we're speaking that into existence. Thank you all for putting this tour together. We were so excited. We were up in Albany with Anita when this thing was being formed, supporting it. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. I work with Claudel on a regular basis. We be out walking, talking, crying, just supporting our community. But I am paying the purpose. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. My church, First Corinthians, was the church I ran into because I didn't know where else to go. So I ran to the church, and Pastor Mike was talking about a victim, women being battered. And that's how this started. I just happened to share that because he's here in the room today. But from that, I created a domestic violence organization for women of color because there was no representation. I didn't see anybody that looked like me, and I certainly didn't hear any lived experience of women talking about I'm being battered, abused, and beaten. It was like, girl, don't talk about it, it's a shame. So I created this organization in our community because the need is great. So we're talking about all these umbrellas and all these organizations. Every person that's in this room, domestic violence is that umbrella. That's where the pain comes from. Those homes that are broken, everybody that are dealing with different entities come out of homes, right? So when we heal the women, we heal the nation. I'm here to speak for women that can't speak. I'm the voice for the voiceless. I'm here to talk about the importance of funding organizations like WARM. We all really matter because we cannot do this work by ourselves. We need everybody on board, and we need to talk about it, because before I formed WARM and gave birth to WARM, no one was talking about domestic violence. Okay, you got 57 minutes, Stephanie, so let me wrap it down and tell you all this. Where is the money going to come from, this $30 million, and how some of that is going to be funded into organizations like WARM that's here? We are the first one to create a domestic violence organization for women of color. We're the first one in this community to create a holistic center for women to come feel, deal, and heal. This is a topic that we just don't hear about. So I'm here to tell my story because God said, I'm going to anoint and appoint you to do this work, and I want you to go out to get my daughters and my sons. How about that? Because some men are being abused as well. It's nothing to be ashamed about domestic violence. We are here because we want our community to heal collectively. Our center is on 126th Street. We're having something built on 131st. But what we do here, we got to start with healing our units. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think we need to do one more round because there are many survivors in this room. So one more. And thank you for all you're doing, and thank you for your passion. It is so echoed. And part of the reason why we're doing these listening sessions, and it's important for the fiscal conduits to be here tonight, is to hear the stories that you tell us. And what we can urge you, and we've been saying this since the start of the listening session, is apply. We don't know how to help you if we don't know what you're doing. And how we know what you're doing is through the application. So once that becomes released and it's finalized and everything, please apply, because what you do matters. What every single one of you do matters, but we can't know about it if you don't apply. Yes. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have.
Wait, RJ's going to speak while you come to the mic.
So all of you, part of your organizations that are requesting information and also requesting funds, you need to know that you have to meet the minimum requirements in order to do that. And obviously, preliminary eligibility requirements, you must be registered as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And if you don't know what that is, then, you know, we can help you find out. Just look it up. You can Google it, but you have to have that. But also preliminarily required documents, your latest 990 tax filing form. And if you haven't done that, maybe you could tie up with somebody else and get to see what it looks like and what have you, so that you're on the right track. And if not, then reach out to us after this in order to make sure that you know exactly what you need to do and get ready to go on this race, because there are going to be a lot of people involved with it that's going to be seeking funding. But besides the 30 mil, you may also want to look at your local elected public officials like Cordell Clear, like myself, Al Taylor, and, you know, Jordan.
The rest of them down there.
Jordan and Chantel Jackson, my sister.
It's okay, RJ.
So that's what we have to do. So just get ready and help one another. Help one another. Okay, thank you.
Good evening. I'm honored to be here this evening. My name is Cheryl Bonilla, and I'm the Associate Vice President at Graham Wyndham. At Graham, we are innovators committed to helping children, young adults, and families lead successful lives, especially in the face of poverty and structural racism. Our work is intentional and rooted in equality, particularly in how we serve the Black community. 76% of the children and family in Graham Wyndham's foster care are Black. 50% of our executive leadership team is Black, and nearly 50% of our staff are Black. As the task force considers ways to support the Black community, we encourage you to uplift 3 essential areas. First, foster youth. Youth impacted by foster care systems face deep systemic barriers. In New York City, just 25% of youth who have been in foster care graduate from high school. At Graham, our Graham Slam program proves what's possible with target investments, as 80% of our participants graduate. These youth deserve that level of support. Second, community centers. With the loss of crucial federal funding, children and family are increasingly turning to community centers for supports. These spaces are lifelines. We urge the task force to invest in programming with these centers, especially in education, workforce development, and mental health. Lastly, mental health. Our communities are still recovering from the impact of the pandemic, violence, and generational trauma. It is essential that we provide cultural response, accessible mental health care, especially for our youth. Thank you for your time and for centering the voices of the needs of the Black community in this important work.
Well, thank you. And I hope everyone's listening to what's happening at this mic. We're being informed of all the different organizations that are being represented here in Harlem. And so I am urging everyone to talk to each other, share contacts, and I just want to be mindful of time. That is my job. That the young lady in the black cap at the back on this side is probably the last one. And then only because you got to the, Yankees, what's that, a White Sox? All right, so that's a Yankees. Yep. What's that back there? Oh, okay, all right. So the Yankee and the White Sox is going to be the last to speak at the mic. But you can still contact us using the QR code, emailing Dorcia, or join us on social media. I'm asking everyone to join us to get the information and to share with us your feedback. And I think we're on over here. Yes.
Good early evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity at the time. I just want to uplift the young lady who just spoke. Thank you for that. I was raised in and out of the foster care system, and 40 years ago, once you aged out, you were on your own. So my siblings and I were on our own. I was 18 taking care of my younger siblings, and so it looked different 40 years ago. Thank you for that. Just wanted to uplift that. My name is Rob Robinson. I am here wearing 2 hats. I serve as the Senior Director for Intergovernmental Affairs for the Community Health Centers of Richmond, and I'm the National Project Manager for a program called Brothers for Mothers. It's a Black maternal health, education, lactation program that seeks to have Black men, in particular, provide education for breastfeeding awareness in communities where disparate numbers are very, very high. So I know that's probably different. We haven't heard of Black men providing education for breastfeeding awareness in communities of color, but we think that that's really important. And our CEO, Dr. Henry Thompson, is also here. So I'll be at the Staten Island listening tour as well. But I'm also on the board for the Harlem Kappa Castle Foundation. I am a proud Spring '89 initiate of the Omicron chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated at Columbia University, and know most of you on the stage. Had an opportunity to be able to work with you all. We are reimagining our fraternity house, turning that into a community hub where we are bringing people into the community. In my role, and I'll be quick, I've always been very pragmatic, so I'm gonna ask some pragmatic questions. I see that $30 million has been allocated in this year's budget, but the pot's $90 million. So is the $60 million existing funding that already serves not-for-profits? So that's one. So it's $30 million. That's the pot that everybody is seeking to draw from, but the $60 million is already existing funding too. We do some amazing things from this $30 million. I'm looking forward. We do some incredible things. CBOs are served. They're helping the community. Where's the next $30 million coming from? Are you guys able to have impact on what that state budget looks like? That's question 2. Question 3, maybe.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's only one question and feedback.
All right, so, but those are good. Those are good. I want to respond.
And I need
to
a
those.
definition for underserved communities, by the way.
So the first thing is I want to acknowledge that your Kappa brother's here over here. That's Clive Vanello. He's sitting next to the Sigma.
Already know.
Yeah, I say he's sitting next to the Sigma. They're not happy. All right, so the first question is the $90 million. $30 million was advocated from the Black Task Force. Another $30 million was advocated from the Puerto Rican Hispanic Task Force. Another $30 million was advocated from the Asian Task Force as well. So all of the task force have advocated for $30 million, okay? So the only group that actually has had funding before was the AAPI group. They have received funding, I want to say, for the last
3 years.
3? Okay, 3 years. I was about to say 5. I'm about to go too crazy. So last 3 years. And it hasn't been 30 million to my understanding. It was like 10
started
million
at 10.
first, 20 million, so now we're up to 30. And what happened is you guys came out for our advocacy day, and we're going to have to advocate every year. And that's my understanding of it. And hopefully the more advocating we do and the better we do with giving out this funding and it not be problematic, the more we can ask for in years to come. And also being mindful of where we are with the country and all those things intact. But so yes, so that's how the money is, and I believe I answered the second one as well.
You did.
Okay.
You did, yeah.
So I got to pass.
No, that's
I got to
good.
pass
Thank
it
you.
over.
I appreciate you all. Thanks.
Thank you.
What else? I'll see you in the back of the room.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Reverend Cohen, and my wife and myself, we run the most, I wouldn't say the most, but the largest youth program in Central Harlem, affectionately known as TCIONY, which stands for the Community Initiative in New York, affectionately known as TAG, which stands for Teaching the Generation. And we service hundreds of kids every week through our TAG program. We meet once a week, and we have a unique approach in how we deal with our young people. The approach that we take is that we listen. And we don't use sports, we don't use recreation, because we realize that if you don't change their mind and their thinking, you can't change their behavior. So we have conversations, intent conversations. And because of the success of our program, we're in over 27 schools teaching social emotional learning, one-on-one mentoring, and then we have hired individuals from our community, families, as engagement team members that goes into the schools, working with school safety to make sure our kids are going to class, they're not hanging out in the hallways, they're not in the staircases, and they're building relationship with these kids in the building to the point when they come out of school, if there was going to be any altercations or any type of conflict, is already resolved in the school with the engagement team members. And because of our work, we've been tasked by the NYPD for the last couple of years in training sergeants, lieutenants, and captains on community policing at the academy for 2 years. Also, we was tasked by the DOE to come in and train the principals on professional development. So we do this work, and Saturday, if many of you were out here, we did our 3rd annual Youth Explosion, where we had over 6,000 families and kids right here on 135th Street, where you couldn't even get on the block, with no altercations, no violence, no fighting. We gave away TVs, we gave away clothes, we gave away back to school. And so one of the things that I would like to task this committee is look into programs that's working with kids who are not into gangs, who are not into guns, because every kid is not into gangs, every kid is not into guns. These are kids that want to become entrepreneurs. They want to become CEOs. They want to become leaders. Our young people, we send them always every month to their community board meetings, their precinct council meetings. They're there. They have a seat at the table. They are really getting civically involved and community activists. And sometimes those kids are overlooked because they look like, oh, they're not no trouble kids. These were kids that were in trouble. Their life has just been turned around. And so we need to take a different approach and a different look on kids that want to be seating where you're sitting in the future and not just running around talking about gangs and guns. So I urge you to take a different approach and support these kids, because they are not only our future, but they are our present as well.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to cut yours in half since you did Long Island.
I was at Brooklyn too, but I think you.
Oh my! So you get 1 minute.
I'm out here. So I want to say thank you to all the legislators on stage here to hear us. Therese, thank you. Dorsha, thank you for the work you're doing as well. I also want to thank the ASL interpreter for doing the work that you're doing. To everyone in this room, I appreciate every single person here, because advocacy is a layer cake. We're the top-down layer, we're the bottom-up layer that we represent, we're the middle layer. We are all necessary in this game. I do want to stress thanks to Stephanie McGraw for the weallreallymatters.org site that she mentioned, because I also work with domestic violence and sexual assault. Before I get into that, I do want to stress, Tuesday night, if you don't follow Chantel Jackson, she is giving a grant workshop Right. I'm gonna shout you out. I'll shout you out for you. She said $250,000 is gonna be grants, not reimbursement based. So we have to share this information in this layer cake, right? Tuesday night, pay attention. They have a grant workshop. Watch it. That being said, right, as you mentioned that there are historically overlooked buckets, and one of the buckets that are typically overlooked is oftentimes domestic violence and sexual assault abuse survivors. And it's not something we want to look at, but we can't always look away at those who are hurt and vulnerable. While most crime in New York is factually down, sexual assault does continue to rise. If you look at May and June stats in the Bronx, you see it was up 25 and 30%, despite the fact on average, rape reported has less than a 2% conviction rate. When it comes to domestic violence survivors, housing is often a pressing need. And because there's a lack of funding for housing in these situations, far too many women and people of all genders are stuck in violent environments they cannot afford to escape. So as per buckets, I am asking that you guys not just consider, but commit to making sure there is a bucket that is dedicated to both domestic violence and sexual assault survivors. That's my piece.
Thank you. Well done. He had 2 other practices, so he can get it done right.
Good evening, Assembly members and senators, and I'm going to just apologize in advance for how often I may glance at my phone. My name is Ashley Staggers, and I serve as the director of the Fostering Youth Success Alliance at Children's Aid right here in Central Harlem. Children's Aid serves as a multi-service organization with our services encompassing early childhood education, after-school and summer enrichment programs, youth leadership development, civic engagement, workforce development, child welfare, and licensed medical, dental, and mental health care programs and services delivered across 40 sites throughout the South Bronx, Upper Manhattan, the northern part of Staten Island, and of course, right here in Harlem. Firstly, I'd like to thank the task force for including pots of funding for advocacy, education, and health. As a leader in the community schools movement through direct practice, capacity building, and advocacy efforts, we emphasize that investing in community schools is a critical step toward advancing educational equity for Black students. Studies have shown that community schools average over $7 in return on investment for every $1 spent on a community school coordinator. And in some cases, these numbers reach as high as $14 in return on investment. But it's not just about these monetary numbers. These schools help students show up more, do better on their tests, and graduate at higher rates. As Black communities face growing uncertainty due to the ongoing federal cuts, including to SNAP, Medicaid, and other essential services, families are increasingly turning to community schools to fill these gaps. Community school providers want to make sure that we're prepared to meet those needs and provide the support that these communities deserve. We therefore urge the task force to center community schools as a powerful way to support not just children, but underserved communities. As mentioned before, Children's Aid also houses the Fostering Youth Success Alliance, which is a statewide advocacy group that promotes responsive policies and programs offering young people with a foster care background every opportunity to set higher expectations and achieve those goals. These young people often face even more hurdles than their peers, particularly in education, both K through 12 and higher education, health, and housing. Especially during tough times, it is critical that they have the resources and platforms to lift up their voices, to lead the way forward, and to succeed. To that end, we encourage the task force to also prioritize funding opportunities that serve Black youth in the foster care system, as well as former foster care youth. Thank you so much for your continued advocacy for our communities, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ben Dubin-Thaler. I am the founder and executive director of BioBus. I'm going to say something unpopular right now, but I'm here to talk about science. Thank you, everybody on stage, for the support that you've given BioBus over the years. We were actually we had our mobile science lab at the TAG event at 135th Street last week. We had hundreds of students on the bus using research microscopes, meeting scientists. We're going to be at Senator Clear's back to school event on August 26th. So if you have not been on the bus yet, that's your next opportunity. We've had 400,000 students come on board these buses that we've built. They're full of amazing microscopes and incredible, inspiring scientists who mentor young people across Harlem, across Washington Heights, in the Bronx, and also on the Lower East Side. The bus is really powerful. Students usually come out for 45 minutes during their regular science class during school and get a chance to use a $35,000 microscope and see that science is not just about a textbook, right? Science is about creativity and curiosity and exploring the world around you. But what we realized early on was that those 45 minutes on a mobile science lab is inspiring, but our young people need more opportunities to continue that excitement that they build on the bus. And so we've been doing a lot of after-school programs and internships. We've got a big internship program going on right now. We've got 50 young people, about 30 of them are high school and college students from right here in Harlem who are doing research projects on water quality in the Hudson River and on lead contamination in the soil in our community gardens. And we're also doing a lot of after-school programs with Henry Street and with Graham Wyndham and with Brosis Soul and with Harlem Grown and with TAG. We're helping organizations who already have incredible after-school programs, and we know that those programs are set to grow with this new city funding that's coming out, and BioBus is helping those existing after-school programs increase the quality and the engagement of their science classes after school. And my question is, for this pot of money, how much are you thinking about encouraging organizations to actually partner, on the application, like BioBus partnering with Henry Street or TAG or Graham Wyndham to create services right in partnership with each other?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. We're listening. So if you think that you guys should be partnering, is that an offer?
Yes.
That is the offer. Write that down. All right. Therese, you want to add anything?
Sure. I just was going to say, this is part of the reason why we want to have the listening sessions, is to have that opportunity to say, oh, I like what they said. Oh, I like what they said. I didn't know that that was happening in my community. Let's go. So please apply. Please collaborate. Think creatively out of the box, as so many of our electeds have said on the stage. So keep up the great work and start thinking, because we're excited.
Thank you.
All right, come on, Yankee Cap.
Thank you. My name is Keith Lewis.
Hey, Keith.
And I'm a native New Yorker, born and raised on 125th Street. And I'm also currently, I also work in Harlem as well. I work in financial services. And presently I'm a resident at Savoy Park. And I'm also very, very happy to say that I am also a member of the board and co-treasurer of the newly formed Savoy Park Union 501c3 organization. And I would like to say that I would like to thank members of the panel, elected officials, for inspiring us and guiding us to get to this point. Senator Clear and Jordan Wright, who have supported our efforts thus far. One of the things that we find at this point is, in organizing, is the need for support, legal support, and financial literacy as we begin to form these organizations to advocate for ourselves and tenants, not only in our 13-acre campus, but other tenant associations throughout Harlem, where in these big complexes where there are disparate services, and just holding landlords and management accountable. And I see a great need for grants that would help bring not only these organizations together, but to help us, again, organize ourselves. And we have made efforts to also begin to meet with other tenant organizations in the community so that we can have a more robust platform and working together and build a bigger platform so that we could be heard in another way. Numbers bring solutions for the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Real quick, just want to give a shout out to former New York State Assembly member and current New York County leader Keith L.T. Wright. Give him a round of applause, please. And appointment secretary to the governor, Kathleen Benjamin. Thank you so much.
If I could just quickly say something about the last two speakers. I think you're evident that it makes sense to partner in some of these cases, especially when you're talking about tenants and housing and our community coming together is how we become stronger. There's definitely a great need, and many of you are faced with the same problems and fighting sometimes even the same enemies. So it is very important to come together and try to be co-applicants in some of these efforts, because it helps you with your advocacy and it will help you be stronger. So I think you should definitely consider, especially where you're serving the same populations and or you're working on the same issue.
Thank you. Well said. Are you ready?
Okay. Oh, hi. My name is Mark Saffman. I'm deafblind, and actually, I guess my only connection to Harlem really is that I come over here regularly to get my hair cut at Master John's barbershop on West 135th Street. But I moved to New York in 1997, and I used to live down in East Harlem. Then I moved over to Astoria. Actually, I don't know if Senator Clear is here, but
she's here.
I am deafblind. Senator Clear is a sponsor of a bill S3743, and Assemblymember Zeiderman is the sponsor of A5020 for our deafblind community. I think a lot of the issues here for our disabled community, the intersectional, the cross-generational, race, ethnic. So there's not necessarily an organization that is focused on disabled groups, Black disabled specifically. We're too busy running around town trying to help people. I know Opal Gordon's here, and she's a co-chair of the House of Justice Deaf Club. But I know Charles Higgins is out in Flushing tonight. He's the president of the New York City Black Deaf Advocates. The goal is that there's a lot of disabled organizations that don't have necessarily any capacity right now. We don't have capacity to be here. And I know for our deafblind community, we don't have any organizations because we don't have basic support services like the Co-Navigator program. We really would have, we need help in funding these organizations because we know the answers for our communities, but the elected officials really haven't taken the time to listen to us and meaningfully engage with our communities. And this is something that for the Black community, well, there's a lot of racism. And I know that I didn't find out about my reading glasses, get declared legally blind until I talked to a Black woman who worked for an eye split place after years of dealing with just white folks at optometrists and stuff. But I think that the task force really should take time to engage with Black leaders around the state and figure out how to make sure that the investments that you're going to be making are impactful for Black, disabled communities. There's a wide variety of them, and we all, we have different needs. And the fact that I'm deafblind, I don't use interpreter. I use real-time captioning, and I know that that wasn't available here tonight. But if you have your online show, the automatic speech recognition is not effective. There's a lot of technical reasons why automatic speech recognition isn't effective, but it's something that if you don't take the time to understand that, I mean, this is a great event, but, oh no, see, I can't read that from there. And when I do have that on, this app is just meant, my speech-to-text app is meant for one-to-one communication. So if I'm listening to people giving speeches or talking, I go to sleep. It's just because of how the app technically functions. But yeah,
not just you.
Tell us your name one more time.
But what I'm saying is that if you could just take the time to meet specifically with our disabled communities to make sure that the investments that you're making are impactful for us. Because right now there's just like economic development, Black businesses, the Empire State Development that funds a lot of education for entrepreneurs. They're not teaching them accurately about website and document accessibility. They're not teaching them about the interactive process and how to hire people who have challenges. It's very simple, but it's not in the Empire State curriculum, and no one is really aware of it. It's like, I'm like, look, you're spending a lot of money teaching people how to be, to start businesses, but you're not necessarily teaching them accurately. You're not giving them the information they could really benefit from, not how to take advantage of the incentives that are out there, tax credits and incentives that are out there. But there's a lot of things that where you just need to take time to engage with our communities to figure out how to make sure that all these investments are going to be accessible and inclusive.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
And I don't know if everyone understood what he was saying is that because the technology is not available for him, he can't hear what's happening up here. It's only when he's talking directly, like if he's talking to Dorcia, he can have her speaking to his device to say what so she can share what she wants to say with him. So we absolutely needed that. Thank you for that. I'm so sorry that we have to learn it this way, but thank you for that.
And Madam Chair, if
Yes,
I can
go ahead,
say, I
yes.
want to thank him very much for lifting up my bill because we moved it out of Social Services Committee 2 years in a row and tried to get it in the final budget at $5 million. I'm going to keep trying on that bill. It's so important. Basically, it establishes a co-navigation services program for persons who are deafblind. To provide services to a person who is deafblind and assist them physically. Assemblywoman Zinnerman carries it in the Assembly, and we are going to continue to work to get that bill passed for our deafblind community. It's very important that we lift them up and make sure that we are making things like this more accessible. Oh yeah, he should absolutely be on our standing committee, and I'd like to talk to.
Tell him that personally.
Yeah, we'll speak to him after, but thank you so much.
Teresa just wants to add something.
And I just wanted to add one thing. Thank you so much for your participation tonight. And we actually have talked with 211 is available in 180 languages. So we're actually going to make sure that the app is available in Braille and publication, but also having an interpreter to be able to help applicants on an individual basis translate the application. And then we're also working to have it available in all 180 languages. So just wanted to let you know that we are, as the application process is drafted, we're going to have those available to you.
And I'm being mindful of time. It's 7:25. You have 4 people up here, so they're all going to speak. And then, like I said, if you did not get a chance to speak today, use the QR code. Reach out to Dorcia. She's excited to talk to you.
I'm going to be as short as possible. My name is Mary Kay Penn. I'm the executive director of the Institute for African American Folk Culture. Tiny, tiny, tiny arts and cultural organization pushing to preserve the folk traditions of African Americans. I have to say, I thought I was coming here to contribute to you. I thought I was coming here, and I find that being here, I am being completely lifted to listen to the organizations underfunded, undersupported, right? Who are still fighting every single battle in this community. And so I thank you for being able to hear that, and I thank you for this opportunity. I am here to plead, of course, for a budget line item, an allocation that really looks at Harlem's mid and smaller cultural and arts organizations. We tend to keep our small arts and cultural organizations very vulnerable and tottering, a lot like we keep our Harlem's artists. I want to say real quickly that in 2020, the pandemic hit and New York City closed down, and that included all of our small music venues here in Harlem. I started out doing an unemployment application for one artist who was playing at Red Rooster. He then told many others, and I ended up submitting unemployment applications for 50 Harlem artists. I have to tell you that I came out of that process absolutely traumatized, that the people who were on the records of Dizzy Gillespie, who had played with Charlie Parker, who were on the records of Abby Lincoln and Bobby Blue Bland, were absolutely destitute after 1 week of close down. Most of them were seniors. They had been playing here in Harlem between 30 and 50 years. I hope that you will remember the soul of this neighborhood, which is currently shattered. While we have big cultural giants that may survive well on corporate sponsorships, the small and medium arts organizations, the ones that provide the jobs and the economic revitalization, particularly for our small business corridors, the ones that provide the true cultural preservation and Black pride in this neighborhood, as well as the social cohesion that we are all reeling from in an era of gentrification. They deserve a dedicated budget line, no matter how small, to stop the historical trend of leaving the people of this community who often contributed the most to our lives and our beauty and our families with the least.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Originally, I stood online to speak about my organization, but I'm going to change things up just a little bit. I'm going to change things up because I am so inspired by everything that I heard in this room, and it brought me back to my purpose and the reason why I have been so inspired to be as much of a public servant as I am. I was in the foster care system as a child, and because of the nurturing that I received in this community, in the Harlem community, I was able to do so much in my life, and it is why I have a passion to always give back. And I feel like if we invest in our children, especially those in the foster care system, you will find people who will be so honored to pay it forward and go into all areas that serve our community, which brings me back to why I'm here now. My name is Pamela Stewart Martinez. I am the Director of Civic Engagement and Organizing for We Act for Environmental Justice. And our mission is to build healthy communities by ensuring people of color and low-income residents participate meaningfully in the creation of fair and healthy environmental protection policies and practices. Our vision wants to make sure that our communities stay informed about what happens in our community and affects us, and that we are part of the decision-making process in doing so. We have been led by Peggy Shepard. I mean, her name says it all. She is a shepherd for us, leading us towards protecting our community, and especially in these times. I also want to thank all of you on the stage. A few years ago, you passed an amazing bill into law called the Cumulative Impact Bill. And that bill, and for folks who don't know why that bill is so important, what that bill does, it protects communities like ours, that COPD, and when COVID was around, we struggled even more. Okay, and so by passing that bill, what was so wonderful about it, okay, I'm sorry, I went too far.
Thank you.
By passing that bill, it allowed us to be able to set up a program where we're going throughout the county, letting people know about this bill and how important it is. And so what I'm asking you is, please look into climate justice, because it affects our families and our community and our people, and mostly disadvantaged communities. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well said. All right, our last two. They're going to bring the energy, and they're going to stay on time.
I'm going to stay on time.
I know that's right.
All right, good evening. My name is Hussein Yadaberry. I'm the Executive Director of Muslim Community Network, serving over 3,500 New Yorkers, Muslim and immigrant. We confront issues like immigration crackdowns, food insecurity, health disparities, political disenfranchisement, and community violence, specifically hate crimes against New Yorkers. I also serve as a senior advisor for Neighborhood United, a South Bronx initiative that empowers 100 youth annually, especially young girls, through sports, specifically basketball. From my experience, real solutions must come from those closest to challenges. A lot of the challenges in our community are faced by young people. So I hope after this tour is over, we set a group of tours also for schools. I mean, I'm looking in this room, there wasn't a lot of young people that had voice to actually speak as to some of the issues and where they feel like these funding should be placed as for the nonprofits that are going to be applying to this program. So I think that's really important. And I think for my nonprofit, there's always a lot of short-term programs and funding pools, and that doesn't really lead to resilience in communities. So urging that like this task force is really hyper-cognizant and investing in the rich ecosystem of organizations supporting Black New Yorkers. I think we've heard about gender, we've heard about disabilities, we've heard about multi-religion, we've heard about youth. So like, there's so many different organizations that support so many different types of Black New Yorkers and making sure they're all represented in that 30 million and no one's left out. Also making sure that there's a lot of awareness and collective mobilization next year around so we can help you advocate for this funding also. I just know there's always a tug and pull and the budget is always going to be late. We want to be there to support, so also making sure. All right, let me not say that out loud. Let me not bring bad vibes.
We know what that means. We know what that means when the budget's late, so we're going to stop talking now.
But really making sure that more of these nonprofits can make it up to Albany in order to be on the $1 Million Staircase and advocate with you all to get the right funding that's needed. Because we didn't really know to even advocate or go up and to help you, so like we want to be able to do that. And then my last piece is the AAPI budget. That's $54.35 million that they've been asking for 2 years. They've gotten 32 years in a row. Do you have an ideal number that's your ask? And if not, then we need one so that we can really support our community. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And we asked for 50 and we got 30.
Last but not
We can ask for 100, but we'll see. Come on, White Sox.
It's just a hat. How you doing? My name is Tanya. I'm the CEO of Even Me Economic Development Corporation. It's an organization that me and my pastor started in 2013, and what we started out doing was assisting young adults that were too old to be adopted and aging out of foster care. So, you know, for a couple of years, it fell to the wayside. My pastor's retiring, I'm president. I'm new to getting funding. A lot of our funding at the beginning was from private donations that were very good. But now I'm new to this, and working with the youth has always been a passion. Even though I have a degree in business, I have a degree in a bachelor's in health services, working with the youth since 1999 has been a passion of mine. I was a victim of gun violence when I was 24 years old, so that has allowed me to want to work with the youth, and I want to keep on doing that. My problem is access and learning and talking to people, getting next to elected officials to know how to do this, because I'm on my own now. I have a staff. And in 2023, I took money out of my own bank account, went on Instagram, gave out scholarships to college students. No funding, no program, nothing. I can't keep doing that. So again, learning how to access people to learn how to get grants and just donations for my program is something that I need, because I don't know how to do that. Some of us are new to this. So, I just want to be able to do that. I see my elected officials different places with different people, but I want to be able to sit down and talk. If I vote for you, I should be able to talk to you.
Where do you live?
Here in Harlem.
No, but where? Oh, where's your program, rather?
My program, Even Me.
Where is it located?
Right now, it was at my church. Still on my church on 123rd.
I must say, you want to tell us the address? 123rd and what?
Lennox Avenue.
123rd
Rejoice,
Lennox. Who's
yeah,
that?
Rejoice Ministries. My pastor was Pastor Reberg.
Come see me anytime.
Yeah.
Easy, just call our offices and make an appointment.
Exactly.
Come in and see us.
Easy. Come
right
on.
here, you got Jordan, right? And you have Cordia Clear.
Okay, good.
Your members.
Suite 911, State Office
In the
Building.
street.
No.
Okay, thank you.
All
That's
right.
it. All right. Thank you.
So, and just a reminder of the task force aims to have our fiscal conduit set aside, the $250,000 for the smaller orgs and the grant style, so that they're not going through a reimbursement We have mentioned that we want to have that funding be like made for $50,000 or less. Maybe someone needs $5,000 here or $10,000 or whatever. We're looking to do that. Nothing is set in stone, so we don't know what the final results will be, but we do want to make sure that each of our fiscal conduits do set aside $250,000 to help fund our smaller nonprofits. And then I'm going to pass over to some member days.
Thank you to Chantel. I'll talk to y'all real quick. I'm Assembly Member Landon Days. I'm originally from Harlem, so that's part of the reason why I'm here. My parents live in Harlem. I wanted to give to everyone who came up here and what they're doing. I can't tell you how hard your Manhattan members work for y'all, but I really want to give a shout out to Chantel. What she did leading the Black Task Force, I really need people to understand she really took things to task. She took bullets for this, political bullets for this. She literally bled for this. And I am proud to call her my political sister and work with her in the Bronx, but she really, really was the wedge that got this done. And also to our speaker, Carl Hasty, who was a major part of this, and to the majority leader. You know, we have the only state that has a black speaker, a black majority leader, and they made it a presence for Chantel. And I want to please give her a round of applause again, because she really deserves it. And lastly, all the organizations, it was said before, once the legislation happens, the state still has control, right? Not necessarily us. We can give some opinions. But the best thing I can do as a lawyer, I was just with the New York State CPAs, get your paperwork in order. Make sure your numbers are right, your paperwork is right. If you're behind on taxes, that's not gonna work. You gotta get your stuff right. So get your stuff in order so that we can help you as best as we possibly can, because we wanna put the best people, the best applicants forward, and so we can advocate for you. We can't advocate for you if you haven't done your tax returns and all of that stuff. So once again, though, thank you so much for what you guys are doing. Continue the great work in our communities. And please, again, Chantel is a beast, and continue what she's, and please support her, because we wanna make sure we can get $100 million next time, not just 30.
Listen, it's God's work. I say thank you, but this is really God's work, and we are here to serve. I just want to remind you all of the servants who are our fiscal conduits. Would you like to say something? Okay, we're going to do a wrap-up.
Hello? Is it on? Okay.
There you go.
Thank you to everyone who spoke and the sister at the end. I just wanted to say this. One of the things that's really critically important, I've been working with Assemblywoman Jackson since last year on this. We've been talking. And capacity building was something she continuously talked about, the task force continuously talked about. And I think it's important for the community to know that that was a critical part of this conversation. And the fact that they want to build capacity, to me, is just as important as the dollar amount. And I want to make sure that's understood. The one thing about capacity building that is true, and when I said I could give a shout out to Harlem earlier, is the capacity is in the room. We keep acting as though this word underserved means that we don't have internal resources. As Black folks, I say that, but this is one of those ones where I say this is me, not the task force. As Black folks, what we have to do is move from the idea of abundance and not deficit. We have a lot. This room has proven that 100 times tonight. And so when the senators and the assembly, people said to us earlier, to exchange a number, do not walk out of this room today without getting somebody else to build your capacity, because we're gonna have to build our capacity before we get the money, not after, right? So just wanted to say that capacity building starts with us.
Well said, and I'm going to remind you guys of our fiscal conduits. It's New York Urban League, United Way of New York State, Federation of Protestant Welfare Agencies, Elm Corps, and LISC, and I'm going to pass it over to Therese to give her final remarks, and I'll then pass it to the members on the stage.
I just want to say thank you so much. I know how much all of you do here in Harlem and in your other areas, and I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you for sharing this space tonight. And really, I am just so honored to get to work with each of you in your application. And really, I look forward to hearing your stories even more so. I would say take this time to look internal into your organizations. Do the things that you've been meaning to do, but you've been putting off. Get your ducks in a row. Ask questions. If you have questions, please contact Dorcia. Please contact Dorcia. But really take this time while we're working on the application and waiting for the contracts to really handle anything that you have, fill any holes or gaps that you're able to, because once that application gets started, we can't wait to get started. So thank you so much. I'll be here after too if you have any questions and you want to, talk to me. I would love to meet you and learn about what you're doing. So I'll be around. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, drink lots of water, make sure you eat your meals, and thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna give them orders. Okay, so how we're gonna wrap up is remind them your name, your position, and how they can find you. So your social medias or your offices, okay? Go ahead, Treasurer.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the Schaumburg. Welcome all to the 70th Assembly District. It's my pleasure to have you all here. Thank you to the task force. My name is Jordan J.G. Wright, Assembly Member representing the 70th Assembly District. I can be found at the Harlem State Office Building, which is 163 West 125th Street, Suite 911. My number, I'm going to say it just one time, but I'll say it very slowly, 212-866-5809. My 212-866-5809, twice because I heard someone ask for it. Last thing I'll say is my Instagram is Assemblyman Jordan J.G. Wright, and my Twitter is Jordan J.G. Wright. Thank you all so much.
He still got a 212. You lucky. Chair of the New York State Black Legislative Task Force, Chair of Legislative Women's Caucus, Chantel Jackson, Assembly Member in the 79th District in the South Bronx. Very active on TikTok, and they coming for my head, so I need y'all to jump on there because these young folks telling me, anyway, you see when you get on there. AM Chantel Jackson 79 on Twitter. On TikTok, Chantel Jackson 79 on Instagram, and my team does respond, so if you need me there, of course you can do all the regular stuff, my Assembly website, but trust me, Instagram is where it is at. Rev Al.
Hi, Assembly Member Al Taylor, 71st Assembly District, Harlem, Washington Heights, and Inwood. My office number is 212-234-1430. My cell is 646-418-8000. 646-418-8000. If you don't think it's real, hit me. All right? But I'm going to tell you now, if you text me, we can have a quicker conversation. I'm out.
State Senator Robert Jackson, representing the 31st Senatorial District, which is all of Washington Heights, Inwood, Marble Hill, and 1/3 of my district is in the Northwest Bronx. I represent about 339,000 people. The bottom line is that my staff does all of the work. Yadalis Moran is my deputy chief of staff, and others are on vacation. This is summertime, and people take vacations and what have you with their families. But we have an office at Bronx Community College where 2 of my staff working there. Instead of people coming from the Northwest Bronx coming into Inwood, they can come making appointments right at Bronx Community College, which is on University Avenue, right past Burnside Avenue. And then we're located at 213th Street and Broadway, 5030 Broadway on the 7th floor. And obviously we have people up in Albany that are working full-time also. At our office is in room 306. And our telephone number is 212-544-0173. That's our New York City office. So that's the primary office where most of the staff are located at, and I look forward to working with all of you. I'd say to you that if you don't know everything, that's okay. Ask about what you don't know. Don't be afraid, and let's get it done together in unity. Go ahead.
And then you guys go, and then Pastor Mike will close up.
Pastor Mike, how are you? I'm New York State Senator Cordell Clear, proudly representing Harlem, West Harlem, East Harlem, El Barrio, a portion of the Upper West Side, and a tiny piece of Washington Heights. For New York State, I am chair of the Aging Committee in the New York State Senate, and I represent seniors across this entire state. They are the least represented and the fastest growing population in the state. And I don't want to leave here tonight without inviting all of you to attend my virtual Zoom on Tuesday evening about Legionnaire's disease, which has taken the lives of 3 of my constituents, and that's 3 too many. 67 have been ill, and 23 have been hospitalized. It is alarming to me how these outbreaks continue to happen only in Black and brown communities, as if there are no cooling towers in the rest of the city. And this is something that I've been speaking to the city today. I was joined, I see Community Board Vice Chair Shatik here today, Mitchell, and my colleagues, Assembly Member Wright and our Council Member Yusef Salam and Al Taylor. I want everybody to please stand with us. Harlem needs everyone to stand with us, because we have to examine these kinds of things and figure out why they attack our communities like this, and why we are losing our lives over what is a maintenance issue.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to say that. Thank you so much.
Senator Claire, thank you. Somebody was supposed to be here from Harlem Hospital to present to us around Legionnaires just really quickly, but that we missed out on that opportunity. It's okay, because Senator Claire has us. I just want to remind everybody, we are live streaming this as well. So on our YouTube, you can go and visit NYSBL Task Force. All right, I'm going to pass it to my colleagues here, and just introduce yourself, tell them where you're from and where they can find you.
Again, Assembly Member Landon Days of the 77th District, Southwest Bronx. My office at 910 Grand Concourse, right by Yankee Stadium, the 4D train, the BX11, BX13, take you right there to my office.
No, you good. Go ahead.
And my phone number at my office is 718-538-2000. And my email is daisl, DAISL, at nyassembly.gov. Yeah, sorry. And real quick, shout out to my Morehouse brother, Pastor Mike, in the building also.
Come on.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Assembly Member Clyde Vernell from Southeast Queens. I'm not going to give y'all my phone number, because y'all need to call them if y'all got issues. Don't be calling my office.
But you're the chair of.
But, really excited to be here. First of all, I'm really impressed by all that I've heard that's happening in Harlem. Give yourselves a round of applause. It's amazing about all the work that you're doing. And again, I'm here, humbled to be here with the Black Task Force, because we've been working hard to make sure that we get this funding across the entire state. And the organization said that we did not want to leave any stone unturned to make sure that we go to every corner of the state to be able to listen to see what's happening. So, really, really excited to be here, hearing everything. I specialize in technology programs and aviation programs. I also serve as the chair of banking. So if you guys are doing those kinds of works, would love to work with you. Thank you.
Well said. And I know you said thank you to me, but I need to thank Dorcia Williams, who is our executive director. And she's been managing this by her lonesome, but of course with the help of the staff members. But every single day she's working to make sure that we get this funding, but not just this, but also elevating what we are doing as a task force. So I want to say thank you to you, and understand that you are called to do this work, and you will continue to do it gracefully. Amen? All right, I'm passing it to Pastor Mike. I'm sorry.
I also want to thank Sarah Goliath for being timekeeper from Councilmember Yusef Salam's
Yes,
office.
of course. You did a good job today. Thank you. I appreciate that. Pastor Mike, the floor is yours.
Good evening. Before I pray, let's just thank our elected officials for having this event tonight. Thank you. And in advance, I want to thank Dorcia, because I'm sure she has already been and will be bombarded by emails and all the sorts. So thank you all very much. Come on, let's stand. And like so many of you, I'm encouraged tonight because in the midst of our current administration's desire to cut so many social safety net programs, that you all are doing the incredibly amazing work that is necessary to pump life into our community. So thank you. Let's pray. God, we thank you on the night, and we honor you for this time. We thank you, oh God, for how you continue to shape us and lead us and guide us. More importantly, oh God, in these times filled with so much political and social upheaval and turmoil, thank you for those who fill this room tonight, who do the work, oh God, who pour into our people, to our communities, who you continue to lead and guide. And thank you for the reminder to all of us tonight, oh God, that there is no small work here tonight, that we all do the work of transforming and empowering lives in innovative ways. So continue to give us a passion for what is possible. Continue to inspire us in ways that give birth to innovation. But most of all, oh God, continue to burn the fire within all of us that we might continue to fight the good fight. We thank you, God. And it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Yes, and also just want to ask if people can stay. We want to try to get a large shot of the fiscal conduits, the members, and the attendees.